Because I could be like, oh yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. Like it was almost perfect, but like I took away the 1 point because the social links.
I'm actually gonna go up.
Where's the no? I want to hear where the point.
No, I'm going up to be more upset. Not to be more upsetting, but I'm actually gonna go up to a 9.16.
9.16, everyone.
Okay, hi. There it is. I knew it was coming. So,
hi.
So Em, you are going to be playing the new Animal Crossing, right?
I mean, when you lay it all out like that, it is just Animal Crossing, but it's not. It lacks the charm and the cute animation and the music that makes me feel like peace on Earth is attainable.
Well, it's also
like if I walked outside at 3 a.m. to catch a giant spider, I wouldn't be scared.
To be fair, it is a Yakuza game, so the fact that Yakuza is known for having very serious story, but all the side stuff is like wacky and insane. I think this one is going for the full wacky because that's what people love.
Like, is my screen larger than yours?
I mean, technically, no. I mean, I can hold on.
It doesn't look like yours goes all the way to the halfway mark. Does anybody else feel like that?
Well, hold on. I have technology. That's as far as it will go.
All right.
Is that better? You happy? You comfortable?
I'm fine.
Emma's doing her best. She's doing her damnedest.
I'm doing my best. The sun was shining a little. No, we really didn't get much sun today, but it did get up to like 55 degrees. So I went for a walk, and wow, the power of being outdoors.
We started the day at 55 and we went up to 70 today. It got hot. It didn't get hot. It got warm.
I'm so excited.
Let's see. When you're here, we're going to be between...
I looked at the weather. I looked at the weather every single day.
And the weekend after you're here, we're going back down to the 40s to the 60s.
But it's going to be really nice and sunny when I'm there. I'm so excited.
It's that weird temp where we know it's not hot, but because we're not used to 70-degree weather, it feels hot. It doesn't feel great, but it's fine.
It will feel really hot to me, personally.
Well, yeah, I know. I am aware. I am fully aware.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, M's coming over in 2 days. Like we're so stoked, and we're gonna have photos.
We're gonna have so much fun.
We're gonna have a blast.
I just want you to know I went to my Discord to post, and mine's a little different from yours.
Yeah.
But I said, dream updates. Directs and pals and personas, oh my. And I was like, I'm so funny. I'm so witty. I was like, I gotta tell Blake this should be the title of the stream. And I was like, did he see it? No, I think he just knew.
I just knew. I had it typed up before you even came. Oh.
I thought I was real creative.
Oh, we lost you for a second. You froze again for a moment. It's okay. We're fine. No, please, no turning. No disappearing into the ether. Please.
Maybe one day we should just stop podcasting until I own a home with good internet and a better quality webcam so it doesn't give me crippling insecurities every time we're here.
We'll figure something out. We're gonna
about my terrible internet making me look awful.
We're gonna have chats to fix everything for you, Em. Don't worry. That
I'd love that.
That looked like you were sipping a glass of whiskey. That's what I know it's not.
Another one, bartender. It's been a hard week.
What is that? Apple juice?
No, it's this thing called water.
That is gold. That is gold. Oh, okay. Now I see it above. There's a gold
rim around the cup.
See, all I saw was the gold rim and liquid, but it looked like it was all one. The gold was just protruding through like it's whiskey.
It's just a gold rim. I was like, it's just water, guys.
Y'all, the podcast is so hard for Em that she's got a drink on the job.
No, today's been a good day for me. Like I said, it was warm. I went for a walk. Also, Dreamlight Valley update coming to whatever console you play on next Wednesday.
But not today.
Mike and Sully are coming. You can change your skin color to be like purple or blue. We're getting more doors back. Scrooge's shop is changing. We're getting a star path with like monsters and heroes and romance. super exciting. We're getting the Snuggly Duckling Tavern from Tangled. I'm thrilled.
It was hype. I'm gonna probably get back in at some point. I currently am working on platinums, and that's what I have to do. But unfortunately, I'm subjecting myself to torture at the moment, doing just that. I'm playing the Persona dancing games because I had one trophy in Persona 5 dancing, and it's not good. Dude, it's not good.
So for our listeners, about maybe a little over a year ago, Blake invited me to a Facebook group called Achievement Hunters or Trophy Hunters.
Hardcore Trophy Hunters.
And they post all of their platinums, and then they rank the platinums on a scale of 1 to 10 on how hard or difficult they were,
or
and
fun.
then their general thoughts about it. And I was in the car the other day, opened up Facebook, and had a notification. It was like, Blake has posted in this group. And I was like, oh, weird. I've never noticed Blake posting here before. So I clicked on it, and it was like, Goat Simulator.
Yep. No, I have a story about that one.
What is happening to Blake right now? Why is Blake Platinum in Goat Simulator?
So,
how the mighty have fallen.
No, that was not on my radar. My whole goal for this year was not just to get platinums, but it was mainly to clean up games I've already started and have trophies in, but to get the platinums in those and finish them, right? I wasn't going to start anything new. I got Goat Simulator for 3 2 years ago through PlayStation Plus. Never got a trophy in it though. So it was not on my radar until my brother, who has my PS4 right now, was going through those games. It's like, oh, I want to try Goat Simulator, and he popped a trophy, and I'm like, damn it, I'm here now, and I don't want to do this, dude. But that being said, it was actually a lot of fun. All the trophies were really easy, except for one called Flappy Goat. It's exactly what you think it is. It's Flappy Bird, but a goat, and it was miserable. It was so difficult.
It was just, I can't describe to you the entertainment value of being shocked that you posted into the group and then being like, what did he do? And I was like, sure, it was going to be Persona 3, which you did include, but the first one was just Goat Simulator. And I was like, I didn't even know this was an option.
I've posted in that group a handful of times.
I've never noticed. I just tend to check out, but I noticed this time.
Well, you kind of knew. I'm assuming you knew what the first one was going to be, which one of them was going to be. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I did.
Talking about news, the only news we have is part of one of our topics, so we're just going to talk about that. The Nintendo Direct.
The news. I already dropped the big piece.
Oh,
of news.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Greenlight Valley is coming next week. Thank you.
Only relevant news that anyone cares about. Everything else is irrelevant because Dreamlight.
Oh, I thought you were saying nobody cared about Dreamlight Valley.
No, I was being sarcastic about it, but I wasn't saying nobody cares about Dreamlight Valley. I enjoy Dreamlight Valley. I just need a break.
Everyone cares about Dreamlight Valley. Everybody cares. Everyone should care.
So we had a Nintendo partner show. I don't even want to call it a direct. I feels dirty calling it a direct.
It was fine.
It was fine. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
Big spoilers. Because I know y'all are as committed to this as I am. I know your heart is just as in it as my heart is in it. There was, in fact, no announcement for a Wind Waker port coming to the Switch.
It was if you went into this expecting that to a partner showcase, and you were like, yep, they're going to bring Wind Waker, then that's on you. That one's on you. If it was a normal direct, I wouldn't blame you. Actually, it's crazy. One
day we'll be reunited.
There's this dude on Facebook Marketplace near me selling a Wii U for $150 with a copy of Wind Waker, and I'm considering it. So we'll see.
You should.
I haven't decided yet. It all just depends. Okay.
But very soon, I'll be reunited with you.
They haven't given us a date. We don't have a date.
I know. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll talk about the games they actually did discuss and not the games they didn't discuss. I'm just, you know what? I just know that's what people care about. I know if there's no Wind Waker, what are we even talking about, you know?
Mario games.
They didn't have Mario games.
I know, because it was a partner showcase. So first and foremost, we did get, we already knew this was coming. I feel like if Xbox didn't make their press conference last week, it would have been bigger news. And if the leaks hadn't gone out, but Grounded, that was by Xbox Studios, is coming.
Can we talk for a second about the Xbox conference, because we didn't have a podcast last week to talk about it?
Oh yeah.
What a waste of time of everyone's time, just to be like, oh, everyone was like, this is the death of Xbox. They just said they're bringing 4 games to PlayStation to start, which, fair enough, they could bring more. But then they didn't even name them. What are we doing? Why are we here?
Well, we already know 2 of them. One is for sure Hi-Fi Rush, and Limited Run leaked that.
No, we know all 4. We know all 4.
Oh, that's right. We do. Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush,
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
And another one I never knew before now. Something with a P.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The only one I'm really interested in is Hi-Fi Rush.
Really? I kind of play Sea of Thieves. I watched Griffin play it a couple years ago, and I was like, that kind of looks fun.
I do want to play Sea of Thieves only because it's something you do with your friends, and I feel like me, and all that whole group can just go buck wild and pillage other people.
I think it will be fun.
Moving on, this one that looks like the one that I kept saying looks like Hollow Knight. It's a sequel to a game called Elder Lilies that was a very big indie game, apparently. I don't remember it, but this is Ender Magnolia.
Plot sounded interesting. The concept of like you start on the bottom of like this ravaged city and you have to like work your way up to the top where it's safe.
I'm going to do this.
That feels like it would have very satisfying levels of progression.
For what now? Oh.
The Ender Magnolia?
Oh, yeah. I might look into Ender Lilies and then decide, because if Ender Lilies is that old, it shouldn't be that expensive. I'm willing to give it a try. Arranger looks interesting. Arranger was that little puzzle game where whenever you move tiles, the whole row or column moves with you.
Sure.
It's like an Excel spreadsheet, the video game, with NPCs. We got Unicorn Overlord, which we agreed has a terrible name. I want a better name.
No, I don't. I will be clear. I think the name is cool. It's the concept that fails.
I think
because you're not an actual unicorn overlord.
Yeah, let me rephrase. The name is good, just not for this game. I think that's yeah. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in my opinion. But I am starting to like these 2D art style games coming out. Hold on, my mouse died. Oh, that's making life complicated.
Oh, Blake, come on, man.
Well, look, the cable's right here. It's plugged in. We're good.
Showtime.
Oh no. Monster Hunter Stories is coming from the 3DS to the Switch. I don't care. Yay for you, Monster Hunter fans! I'm so happy for you.
I am excited for this Epic Mickey. I will play this.
Dude, I'm stoked. I have it on Wii, and I played it when I was a kid. I haven't played it since, but I'm excited for this. I am pumped.
I think it looks fun.
Yeah, because you've never experienced it.
I didn't. I never had it on the Wii, but I did always so I was like a babysitter at this time, and the family I babysat for, they had it, and I always saw it, and I always saw people talking about it. I was just never understood what it was and never ended up playing it, so I just kind of missed out, and now I'm excited to do it.
What's crazy is, so Epic Mickey 1 was exclusive to the Wii. Epic Mickey 2 was on the Wii, the 360, and the PS3, which to me makes no sense. It was weird.
That doesn't make any sense to be like, you can't play the original, but we guess we'll let you play the sequel.
Good luck. If you don't understand. SMT5 Vengeance. I still don't know if... Oh, it looks like this is a new version. Okay, so it's going to be a Persona 5 Royal situation. I've tried SMT5. I own it. I don't know. I haven't been able to get into it yet.
It's fine.
I mean, it's an Atlas game. I'm sure if I dedicate the time to it, I'll enjoy it. But
I'm freezing.
Hold on. Wait for it to come.
It's me. In the wise words of Taylor Swift, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
We got her back.
Can you not hear me?
No, we can. I can.
Oh, okay.
You're moving again and I can hear you. You just sang Taylor Swift.
I did.
She's
so relatable.
If I gave the time and effort, I could probably play SMT5. But it didn't hook me in the few hours I played it.
Yeah. If you give any game some time and effort, you can play it. That doesn't mean it's worth it.
Oh, sorry. If I gave it more time and effort, I would probably enjoy it. Let me rephrase that way.
Okay.
But the 5 hours I put into it, it didn't click with me. The only reason I say give it more time is because Persona's the same way. And this is every Persona game. It takes a second to kick off. And knowing Atlas, it's probably the same here. This This one I'm stoked for because this is my childhood, the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Before the remake, the reboot in 2015, 2016, that was online only and sucked, came out. These were the two Battlefront games you had, and they were wonderful. Every moment of them, they're just fun. They were split screen.
I think I had one of these as a kid, but I don't know if I ever played it. I just remember seeing it in our little box of like N64 games.
Yeah, it would have been GameCube or PS2.
Maybe not then, because I was thinking N64, so maybe not.
That could have been Rogue Squadron. It doesn't matter. I love these games. They're just fun. If you like the split screen and the whole thing with GoldenEye, you could like this because that's back at that classic style shooter.
Like GoldenEye and The World Is Not Enough. Why won't they give me those? I don't care about the War of the Stars.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up. Because
you know something I don't.
Not with that specific game, but something that the Nintendo Direct Japan gave Japan, but we're not getting
Mother
here.
3?
Mother 3. And everyone is pissed, as usual, because we still don't have an English translation. I've never played Earthbound or Mother. I mean, they're the same game. But either. I don't have any attachment, but I understand the frustration at this point. Like, Nintendo, do you not like money?
Even if we don't have an English translation, will you be able to play it on an English Switch? I mean,
you can create a Japanese account and have to sign up for Switch Online again through that, so you'd have to have a separate account. Yeah, it's not worth it.
That just seems real crappy.
Also,
just give him the game, ref. Just give him the game.
There are people that have patched it on PC, so just play the PC patch for free. I'm sorry, we do not condone pirating. Wink.
No, we don't.
Wink.
We don't. Blake's just wrong.
I'm just winking. Anywho, World of Goo. There's a cult following behind World of Goo. I haven't played World of Goo, but I'm excited for you World of Goo fans.
Yeah, that looks like something that would give me a headache, but I am excited for you who will enjoy it.
Penny's Big Breakaway was a 3D platformer. I actually look interested in it, but I don't know. I would have to see more.
Is this the one where you're being chased by a penguin army?
Yes. It looked interesting enough, but the last time I got excited for a new 3D platformer was Balan Wonderworld, and that was the biggest disappointment of all time.
It looks like a game that wasn't made in 2024.
It's the Switch. People are like, I feel like the Switch is now at this point where people feel like they have to dumb down their games even more than they did before because it's a Switch, but...
Maybe it does. The whole art style of it does not feel like a modern game.
I think it's an indie developer. Which,
fair enough.
I know it's the same team who made Sonic Mania, which Sega just hired because they were massive Sonic fans who were making ROM hacks anyways for Sonic games. South Park Snow Day, don't care. We've known about that for a long time. Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls-like that I'm actually excited for. Shocking, because I heard about this like a year ago, and it looks adorable.
It does look really cute. Even
if it's a Souls-like, I'm probably going to give it a try. I'm stoked.
Look at him. He's adorable.
And I already told him this when we were watching the Direct this morning. There's a option where you can turn on a safe mode, and it just gives him a gun, and you just shoot everything in one hit. So you can make it not Souls-like. So
it looks cute.
I do hope it goes to other consoles, because if it goes to PlayStation, I'm going to play it there. I'm not going to play it on Switch. I'm at that point.
Makes sense, 'cause you get...
Huh?
I'm sorry, I froze again.
That makes sense because what now?
You get the platinum.
Oh, it's not even just that. It's just like, I know better. If there is a version on PlayStation, I'm going to pick that version every time. Right?
That's logical.
Yeah, not even because of the platinum, just because it's going to look better.
It's going to play better too.
Yeah, it's going to
everything about it will be better.
Function. We need our new Switch or new Nintendo
We
console.
really do. I mean, that's something where I've never really played a game that fails me on the Switch. I know some games like Dreamlight Valley do really terrible on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But the technology is, 8 years old at this point? 7 years old at this point? And it was pretty outdated to begin with.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue is that third-party developers don't know how to handle it, and only Nintendo developed games, unless you're the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, know how to develop for it. Because, I mean, look at Breath of the Wild and look at Tears of the Kingdom. They run great.
Tears of the Kingdom did not upon release. A lot of people had a lot of bugs and issues, and they had to do a patch, to be fair. So
I expect that now. It's not excused by any means. However, I expect that at this point.
That's understandable.
I don't care about Contra. Do you? No? Moving on.
I don't know what that is.
It's a classic.
I don't even remember it from the Direct. The Direct was like 12 hours ago, and I have no memory of this.
Contra was a super hard bullet hell game that originated, I think it was the NES or the SNES, and they're just bringing it back.
You know me, everyone when they're like, what kind of game do you think Emily would like? They're like, those bullet hell games, right up her alley. She's so good at that.
Yeah, she plays Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, she knows everything about bullet hells.
Pepper Grinder does look interesting. It's that 2D platformer where you are a drill. That looks sick. I like the name too. I think that's a great name. I think that's a fantastic name, personally. Suika Games getting multiplayer and it's paid. That I don't agree with. Why make it paid DLC?
That just feels so. I mean, I get that people like the game, but it feels like a mobile app.
Yeah,
I was about to be hypocritical. Never mind.
Based off our last episode where you talked about mobile games.
Where I talked about how much money I had poured into one specific mobile game. I'd be like, why would you pour money into a mobile game? So I was about to be real hypocritical and judgmental. And I'm sorry. If you pay money for this, I support you. Do what makes you happy. I gave money to an app about texting anime boys. So you know what? I have no room to talk.
To be fair, there is no gacha mechanic in this, like to pay money. It's like a $3 game, and then I guess this DLC. I expect this DLC only to be $1 to $3. So, but still, it just feels weird to make it multiplayer paid. I don't know.
It does feel odd. It does feel odd. You're right.
Tales of Kinzera. I don't remember this at all.
I have no memory of this.
Moving on.
Less than 12 hours ago, and I have no memory.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble is a sequel to, of course, it's a new Super Monkey Ball. I'm kind of pumped with it. The multiplayer looks cool. I'm going to download the demo later. Give it a shot.
I have no interest in racing horses, but I liked when the baby horse hatched from the egg in this next game.
I asked the important question when they showed the Robo Horse, how do you breed that one? And Emily couldn't give me an answer. And so I am disappointed.
I couldn't. I don't know how. When a mommy and daddy robot fall in love. Gundam.
Gundam. I'm over Gundam at this point. Fantasy Life, the girl who steals time. It feels like shovelware. It feels like just.
Was this where you could decorate?
Yes.
Okay, this one did look a little fun.
I'll let you give it a shot and tell me if it's fun. But it looks kind of like shovelware.
I said it looked fun. I didn't say I was going to pay money for it. I have 2 games that let me decorate, and they take up a good amount of my time. So
some would say over 1,000 hours.
Some would say combined
over 2,000 hours.
Just about.
Sword Art Online, we're not going to give it any screen time. Goodbye.
What? No, I have questions.
Okay.
Can anyone tell me that they've watched an episode of Sword Art Online within the last 3 years? Is it still going? Did anyone watch past the weird plot in season 2 where they had a baby and also his sister was in the game and his sister maybe had a crush on him because she didn't know it was her brother, and also maybe she was dying. Someone was maybe dying in real life. Maybe he was dying in real life. Guys, I watched season 1 of Sword Art Online in 2014 and then started season 2 and never looked back. So if anyone has any insight on why Sword Art Online is being released in 2024, please let me know. Is it still popular?
I think it's the West who hates it, because everyone I talk to about it here in the West hates it. I think Japan still loves Sword Art Online.
The first season was pretty good, to be fair. I just got I think halfway or 3/4 of the way through the second season. I was like, nah.
Fair enough.
I'm not here for that.
I got a Sword Art Online game sealed for $1. And it's still sealed on my shelf, but I only picked it up because it was $1. I'm like, I might try this out one day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but once again, $1. If I don't enjoy it, I lost $1. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I support you.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's an old game. It's just a port of an old game. Not super exciting. I don't remember. I know the Snufkin character, but I don't remember this trailer. So, do you?
Kind of remember this specific image you're showing me, but I didn't pay attention to it. But that's going to be big in Japan, too.
Demon Slayer. I've never watched Demon Slayer. It's just another anime fighting game.
You know what? I don't even remember this one being talked about. I guess somewhere in this direct, I really checked out.
I think this is...
I don't remember this.
That's right. These three were the ones where they were just cycling through them without talking about them.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. And then we had new releases coming to Nintendo Switch Online, Battletoads, Killer Instinct.
You know, when they showed that Rare logo, I really thought I was getting the sequel to the James Bond game. I also considered we could be getting Diddy Kong Racing. There was a lot that went through my mind, and we didn't get any of it.
That was Rare's heyday. Was the N64 era. It was Rare's heyday. And then
they did great. And then they gave me nothing back. I said I love you, and you say nothing back, Rare.
Finally, Endless Ocean is after oh my goodness, 10, 15 years is getting a sequel, Endless Ocean Luminous. If you like Ocean, it was the inspiration behind the poll today in my Discord. It's another Endless Ocean game where you go and you find sea life and you see how they live. There's nothing. It's not like Subnautica where it's scary. It's more of an exploration, underwater, calming game. So, but if you don't like water, don't do it.
That was the direct. I cried some hard tears at the end of it when Dreamlight Valley wasn't in it, but then I went to Twitter and they had already announced the update, so I was the fool, sitting in a direct when what I wanted was in my hands. There was no Wind Waker, so what was the point? I
was there hoping for you, but we got nowhere, so I'm so sorry.
You were not hoping for me. You yelled at me every single time I asked about Dreamlight Valley and told me to expand my horizons.
Yeah, play new games, goddammit. I will never be shamed because I've been told, you played that game, you have over 100 hours in that game. No, that's nothing compared to you cozy gamers with your Stardew Valleys and your Dreamlight. I have over 100 hours in Dreamlight Valley, which is still nothing, but
it's nothing. It is. You know, this is gonna sound maybe like I'm being annoying or too much, but I have seen a lot of people go on the Dreamlight Valley Reddit, and they'll be like, guys, I'm so crazy. I have 75 hours in this game already. I'm so wackadoo. And other people just constantly be like, yeah, I've got 2,000 hours. What are we doing?
Yeah, you're not that crazy. You're pretty normal.
But they're like, oh guys, my husband thinks I'm crazy. 70 hours. And I'm like, what does that mean for me?
Cool. Let's move on to our next topic. Other big release.
I'm just going to say, you got a half hour and you got 2 big games to discuss. I have nothing to bring to the table for either one of these games. So you are in charge. Everybody, clap your hands for the Bearded Blade.
Oh no. Oh, I forgot they got this thing. This thing is happening. Okay, bye. Forever.
Okay, so I'll talk about Palworld.
No.
It is a game in which you enslave cute animals and you enslave other human beings and you beat them to death until they do what you want and they become your slaves. And then you use the weapons made by the slaves to enslave other animals and people and humans.
Emily hasn't played the game. Emily's only watched.
Oh, you're right, I haven't.
I have only scratched the surface and I have thoughts. And I'm going to say this fully intending to give it a full day and more time, but where I'm at right now with it, I don't love it. I don't get the hype behind it. It is the monster catching aspect is interesting. I'll say that, but the whole survival element and having to farm materials without any guidance of what you're looking for or what to do next. I don't do well, and I'll say this about myself, I don't do well without direction, which is why I can do Dreamlight Valley over Animal Crossing, for example. Animal Crossing pretty much has...
Because they tell you what to do.
Yeah, they give you quests and stuff, where Animal Crossing kind of is just here you go. You could do this. Palworld gives you none of that. Palworld's just good luck.
It always surprised me because I always feel like Animal Crossing would be something you're really into because it's like challenge completion in the same way like getting a platinum is challenge completion, where it's get all the bugs, get all the fish, pay off your house, do all this, do all that, and you get like tracked rewards in the game for doing it, and like you can visually see your progress as you. I just always like there's a compendium that like lists them, and I always thought that would be like your thing because it's like an achievement.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why I was able to play Animal Crossing for a whole 3 months without wavering away and putting plenty of hours into it a day, right? But Palworld, I don't get that. I don't get that you survived well and you crafted this thing. Well, now you can survive a little better. It doesn't interest me, and I'm happy for all the people who are enjoying it. Me personally, I think it needs a lot of work. Granted. Is it better than any Pokemon game we've gotten in the last 5, 6, 7 years? Absolutely. It's a case of Ghost of Tsushima versus Assassin's Creed, where I played every Assassin's Creed and I love Assassin's Creed, but Ghost of Tsushima came in and they kind of did it better. Yeah, and it's the same thing. I have played every Pokemon generation except for Gen 7. I've played Gen 7, but after like 4 hours, I'd be like, this is boring. I can't do this. And I give up every single time I retry. Because it's awful.
I will say there was a moment, so you streamed it with some friends a couple weeks ago, and I was watching it.
Yeah.
And I was jokingly the whole time being like, stop trapping the pals. But there was genuinely one moment where somebody, and I don't remember who this might have been, you, Blake, it might have been somebody else, was like trying to ensnare one of the pals, and they were like hitting it. And every time they hit the pal, it made this horrific noise. And I was like, please stop this. Please. I actually like turned the volume off because it was so awful to listen to.
I don't think that was me.
I did not enjoy it.
I don't think that was me. It was definitely not my brother who was also playing, but it could have been our other guest.
I mean, like, that's not me being like someone was being bad or mean. That's just like the game, how the game works. That's how you progress in the game. But like the sounds of it, I was like, no, you're being like, it's making really sad animal noises, you know?
Oh, we lost her.
Can't. Too weak. But also I saw the house building system. There was no cuteness. There was no cozy.
Well, that's the whole point. The whole purpose is supposed to be survival. It's more survival than anything.
But it's a survival game where they give you cute animals. Like, there is an elephant that looks like a teacup. Are you kidding me? Like, why would you give me a teacup-shaped elephant that I can't build a cute little house for and like take on walks and cuddle with at night times?
What's insane about that is that's not a direct ripoff off of Pokemon. There is a teacup elephant somewhere else in media. And
Animal Crossing.
That's what it. Yeah. This is an Animal Crossing Pokemon Ark Survival ripoff.
Her name is Tia, actually, and I always know that because my best friend's name is Tia, and I love that elephant because she's adorable.
I did love her. She was in my village when I still played.
Yes. So I think there's also another one called Chai who has like a mug on her head, but the Tia is like directly like the top of like where her hair would be is like the lid of the teacup, and then her nose is the teacup. But this one in Palworld was also very cute, and I wanted it. And just like, why can't I love him?
Are you posting a link in chat?
Why must I beat him? Yeah, hold on. I was trying to find a good picture of him.
Oh, I love the cat. I love the chickens. I think the Pal designs, I mean, obviously they're inspired. I wouldn't call them.
I don't even know where to post this. I guess I'll post it in your general chat.
Or just send it to me directly over Discord.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Guys, we're professionals. Oh yeah, little T-Fint.
And then this is the Animal Crossing one.
There's little lucky T-Fint fail. That's just a picture. And yeah, they're very like it's inspired. It's obviously inspired. The eyes are the same. The ears are different.
They're obviously like, this one is more like a realistic elephant, and Tia from Animal Crossing is like a bipedal creature. So they are very different, but they're also, you can tell, I very clearly took inspiration from other things, which I don't think is a bad thing when you make something unique in the end. Pseudo unique. it's not my type of thing. If they said you can make them a cute little farm and, like a cute little Stardew or Animal Crossing or what's the other, Harvest Moon type thing with the creatures, sure.
I think,
but the beating them, the hitting them, no. At least Pokemon has the dignity to be like, throw a ball at them. Yeah. Okay. And then you make the animals kill each other. You don't do the killing.
I think what's even more wild is that this one is causing the most stir. There are plenty of Pokemon clones that are out there. Monster Hunter, I don't remember which one specifically you catch the monsters, but there's a Monster Hunter game where you're not just killing monsters, you're capturing them to use them, right? Technically, all the Shin Megami Tensei type games, Soul Hackers, Persona, Shin Megami Tensei 5, what?
You're going to have to walk me through that one. Is it because personas are animal-like and you can get them?
No, but you capture your remember in Persona 5 specifically, you're negotiating with them. Persona 3 and Persona 4 works different, but like Persona 5, people teeter on it. Like, I'm with you. It's a little like it's a little harder to grasp because it's not super close, but it's more like the I don't want to even say capturing mechanic, but using multiple things to fight for your will. It's one of those like teetering, not quite inspiration, but
I can see the lines, how the lines have been drawn. Yeah. I just don't personally connect those two, but I can see where someone might have drawn the line.
There are some people who connect them. I'm like, yeah. But I mean, like, we'll even take it a step further. Is every turn-based RPG a copy of Final Fantasy 1? No. They do their own spin to it, right? And I mean, like, you could even take it further. Is every 3D game a copy of Ocarina of Time? No, because it's a copy of Super Mario Odyssey or Galaxy. No, Super Mario 64. Shit.
Is every game that uses like a targeting system a copy of Ocarina of Time? I mean, there's some games that just introduce like widely used mechanics, and those games are quote unquote inspirations, but I wouldn't say that they're like copies.
Yeah, it's same thing. We talked about this earlier. GoldenEye is the blueprint for every first person shooter you play now. Even if a lot of them are terrible now, that is the blueprint.
The money I would pay to play The World Is Not Enough on my Switch. The money I would pay.
Hold on. I do have... I don't know if I showed you this yet. I have GoldenEye complete in box now.
Take it out of the box.
No. What? Why?
Play the video game.
Oh, no, I can play the video game. Like, this box has been opened. It's not new. It's not sealed. Like, it has been played. I just have the box and the manuals and everything in here. Like,
I don't have that. I just have I have the N64 game and the N64 for The World Is Not Enough, but I don't have the box. That's very cool.
That was my birthday gift from my brother.
I love those games. I love them.
Anywho, yeah, Palworld, it's also pretty buggy, but I give it more credit than I give Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were the final release. Palworld is still in early access, so they get a little like leeway. It's not great, but I mean, it's the same with
also what studio made Palworld?
Pocket Pair.
Are they like a wealthy company?
I wouldn't say so. No.
Because Nintendo, I know Pokemon is made by a different group, but like Nintendo got the money to pay him for better quality content.
So Pokemon was developed by Game Freak. Game Freak created the Pokemon Company, Nintendo created the Pokemon Company, which is now owned. They still have Game Freak develop games. But people don't know this. Game Freak makes more than Pokemon games. Not much more, but they make their own games that they have full creative control on. They have one on Steam, Something the Badass Elephant, which got raving reviews. They also have a Game Boy Advance game, a 2D platformer, also a digging 2D platformer. They make other games that are actually decent when they are not being pinned down by the Pokemon Company. So, that's
so weird to me. I don't know why, if you are producing good games, you would want to be like, oh yeah, we'll produce a very popular game that's buggy as shit and doesn't run very well.
Because I think Pokemon is pressuring them too much. I think Pokemon is wanting some kind of Pokemon release every year. and they're doing mobile apps and doing cards and doing all this, and they're just doing too much instead of like letting us have what we have for a moment and working on the next thing until it works. They said they're taking that to heart. Besides the point, we're not talking about Mokapon. Oh, we're kind of talking about Pokemons.
Did you say Mokapon?
Yeah, that's a normal thing now. That's now in my vernacular normally. Shout out to our good friend Crazy_G for that one.
Just that does sound correct.
So I say Mokapon's the regular. But like I understand the Palworld was trying to, take this idea and make it their own thing. I don't think it's a direct copy. I don't think Nintendo's going to go after them because they literally can't. There's nothing they go after them. But in terms of a review for the game, before we move on to Persona 3, right now, where it sits with my 10 hours in the game, it's not for me. I'm putting it at like a 4 out of 10 for me right now. However, that being said, I am going to try to give it more time. I'm going to attempt it again, but without anybody around, without Twitch distractions or anything like that. I'm going to do my own time playthrough to see if I can get behind it more.
I think when you stream a game, it's a different experience than playing the game solo. And so I think before you write it off, you should attempt. I mean, if you want to, shouldn't have to do anything
I'm going
that you're not enjoying. But I do think if you want to get another go, play it by yourself or play it like with friends, but off stream or something like that.
Exactly. Now moving on to the real review. The real thing that I have. See, Palworld was only a 10-minute
show.
Palworld was only a 10-minute discussion. The next thing we're talking about is not going to be, and I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as possible because one, Emily hasn't played it yet, and she claims she intends on playing it.
I do intend on playing it. Persona games are long games. Persona 5, when I started playing that, took over my life. And I have to be in a space where I'm ready to let something take over my life.
I'm going to let you know now, it is not nearly as long as Persona 5.
How many hours did you put into it? Your first run.
I think it was 64 is where I finished.
Okay.
It's
Fair enough.
It's not nearly as bad. And I'll explain that more when we get into the pros and cons. So far, it's my favorite game that's released this year, but my God, there are cons. But we're going to get to that later. And
okay, all right.
I'm not even going to blame the remake for this. I'm going to blame the fact that people wanted a faithful remake. Whatever. Persona 3 Reload.
So, yeah, let's start at the beginning. What is a Persona 3 and what is a reload?
A reload is an action you do when you have a weapon of mass destruction. Which, funny enough, that's the battle theme. It's called Mass Destruction. It's a fucking bop. For those,
what is a Persona and why is it 3?
Yeah, so let's start from the beginning. There was a game called Shin Megami Tensei made by a company called Atlas. Atlas separated those into like their own games like Devil Summoner and Soul Hackers, and their most famous one, which is even more famous than Shin Megami Tensei now, Persona. Persona 1 came out in like 1996 for the PlayStation.
Really? It's that old? I didn't realize they were that old.
Well, so Persona 1 and Persona 2 Part 1 and Part 2, because Persona 2 is a duology, they're completely different games. They are similar in the fact that you're a person who has a persona, which is an extension of your soul to battle shadows, right? That part's the same. The social sim aspect is not in the original 2 Persona games. They're more close to Shin Megami Tensei games where here's story, here's battle. They're much shorter too. Apparently they're only like 30 to 40 hours a piece, like normal JRPG length. By the time 2006 rolls around, Atlas, they released in 2006. Atlas was like, all right, we want to distinguish ourselves from other JRPGs because Persona didn't take off initially. 1 and 2 was not enough. It had
because they didn't have Ryuji yet.
They still didn't have Ryuji when it took off.
They knew where they were going by that point. They knew Ryuji was on his way.
So in 2006, they released Persona 3, which added the arguably the most popular part of the Persona series, which is the social simulator aspect of it. Not only are you doing the JRPG stuff, you're going into dungeons, you're fighting shadows, you're fighting bosses, but on top of that, you are managing a social life. You can date somebody.
It's now a romance. Just call it like it is. People wanted to date.
And if you date
they handed that to Japan and they said you can date the anime girls. And they said, holy shit. Yes, I'll buy your game. Let me date the anime girls, please.
To be fair, Em, you and I did the same thing in P5.
I did date the anime girls in P5. If I had my choice, I would have dated the anime boy named Ryuji, but they said I couldn't do that. They said, no, you can't. And I said, okay, fine. Cry about it, but okay.
Anywho, added a calendar system, added a social life system, added like the whole school system where you have to answer test questions. You have social stats. You have your courage. In Persona 5, you have like 5 stats. In Persona 3, you only have 3 stats, which is your courage, your smarts, and your charm. And, it was a whole different vibe, and it really took off. In 2008, 7 or 8, they released Persona 3 Fest, which is, it's just like Persona 5 Royal or Persona 4 Golden. It's an extension. But instead of being like those, the vanilla game is still the same. It didn't add cutscenes or characters, but it added an extra chapter that you can actually start whenever called The Answer that is supposed to happen after the game.
I like the title of that chapter. That's very mysterious. It feels very, I don't know. I really like that.
Yeah, they separated into main game is the journey and the extra content is The Answer. It was
that gives me like goosebumps, and I haven't even played it. The Answer. I don't know why I like that so much.
Then in like 2010 or 11, I don't know the exact year, they released Persona 3 Portable, where they expanded it more. In the original Persona 3 and Persona 3 Fest, you could not control your party members. In Persona 3 Portable, you could control your party members.
Yeah, but what did they do that was even better?
Yeah, I'm getting there. They added a female protagonist, which is the second time they did it for the series. However, this is the first time you get to choose between a male and a female protagonist. With that female...
I think that was real sexy of them. This is a call out to Danganronpa 3, who was like, you want a female protagonist? Here, no, go on, take her. Take her. You asked for one. Come on, grab her. And we're like, oh, okay. And they're like, no, she's dead. Psych, you get this boy named Suichi. He's ugly.
Now, obviously, Persona 3 Portable, being on the PSP, had technical limitations compared to the PS2. They got rid of The Answer, which I think was not a good choice.
Oh,
yeah.
I agree.
I don't think that was a good choice. Also, they instead of walking around in a 3D environment, it was visual novel style, which I think is understandable. You point and click where you want to talk or where you want to explore.
And it's not as immersive.
Except for the dungeons. The dungeons are still 3D, like running around. It's only the main hub world that is not. Like, it's only Japan that is not like that. But people liked it for the female protagonist. They think that is the definitive way is to play the female protagonist, especially because there's new social links with her specifically. Yeah, that's another weird thing. Persona 4 and Persona 5, all your social links are your party members and then a couple other people. Persona 3, vanilla, it's only the female ones. And Persona 3 Portable, it's either the males if you're female or the females if you're male.
Yeah. That's Japan for you.
Yeah. Hold on,
do you like that? Everyone says the female's the prime. Give a gamer a female protagonist.
They think it's the definitive ways because you can enjoy both sides of the story, and you can control party members like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason I couldn't get through Persona 3 Fest is because I could not handle the not being able to control my party members.
Yeah, that does sound awful.
You can give them direct commands. You can tell them, hey, you should do this. Now, whether they listen is a whole different situation.
I just looked up one of the characters that somebody in chat was talking about. Oh, boy. I would romance this person as well.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think I mentioned his name to you and saying that you would like him. Anywho.
Oh, would I romance him? I need to stop looking because there's something real weird. I'm looking at something real weird.
You're also going to get spoilers if you keep looking.
Okay. Just know that I would date that boy.
Let's jump now to this year, 2024, the year of our Lord.
Okay.
Atlas announced actually last year they were re-releasing Persona 3 Portable and remaking Persona 3, which everyone was stoked on. So we got Persona 3 Reload. It is from the ground up remake, Persona 5 graphics, Persona 5 game mechanics. They added the once more mechanic that you get from Persona 5 when you hit a weakness, where you can switch to the next party member.
That's a good one.
Oh no, once more. I lied. Once more was in Persona 3, but it was changed. In original Persona 3, if you knock an enemy down, you don't have to do an all out attack. You can once more instead and keep the enemy stun locked to the ground, because it takes a whole turn to get up instead of them getting up and then attacking. In Persona 3 Reroll, this is just minor. They went back to the it's now the new normal, where you knock them down, they get up, and then they attack again, or you all out attack. Anyways, pretty much the graphics are all new. The gameplay mechanics, you can control your party members. Everything looks beautiful. New voice actors.
It's been updated to the modern Persona 5 style.
Correct.
Overall.
And for the first time in the series, in Persona 5 and Persona 4, the social links, and I think Persona 3 too, the social links only had full voice acting for each section of the social link on, I think, rank 1, and the last rank 10. And this one, it's every single rank has full voice acting now. Everyone talks for the whole thing.
Wait. Does my character talk?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean protagonist, not the character you were just looking into. No, protagonist is still just grunts and occasional words and saying the persona's names. No, protagonists still don't talk.
Got me so excited.
I'm so sorry.
I was so excited.
No, protagonist is never going to talk. It's always silent protagonist.
Oh, okay.
So sorry to tell you.
I mean, that's fine. Do they say your name?
No, they won't say your name. They do the weird thing that Persona 5 does, where they just kind of skip that part of the sentence. Even though you're reading them saying your name, you're not hearing it. So, yeah.
Fine.
Anywho.
So anyway, pros and cons. We're running short on time.
We're gonna go over. I even warned you we were gonna go over. If you're okay with
Fair
that.
enough.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So one thing I want to mention before we go into the pros and cons. So I played Persona 4. This is the first Persona game I ever played. I never finished it back on the PS2. Persona 5 is the first one I finished. Persona 5 Royal, then Persona 4 Golden, and now P3 Reload. Persona 4's theme is reach out to the truth. Persona 5's theme is, fight against injustice, obviously, right? And change injustice. Persona 3's is a much darker tone. The theme is life and death. And it is apparent throughout the entire game.
You mean by the fact instead of ripping the mask off to get their persona, they do something else that I maybe shouldn't mention on a podcast? I don't know.
I'm going to mention that in the pros.
Trigger warning, maybe?
I'm going to do the trigger warning in the pros and cons section. I promise. Actually, no, more towards the end of rating.
Well, we should mention the trigger warning before.
Let's do it right now. Yeah. Trigger warning for anyone who's interested in playing this game. If you have thoughts of suicide, you get triggered with any violent imagery, with guns or anything of that nature, have a hard time handling really, really dark conversations about life and death and just don't think you can handle it, this is not the game for you. I'm going to tell you right now, it gets really deep and it gets really dark. And if you have triggers with those, I don't recommend it.
It's also not for the podcast as well, because we'll be talking about some of that. So maybe this would be a good time to check out.
Yeah. Or just, wait till the end. Yeah. So on that note, in Persona 4, you summon a persona by lifting a card. In Persona 5, you rip off a mask. In P3, they call it a evoker, but it looks like a gun. They hold an evoker to their head and it comes out. They explain that a little more. It's still not great. I still think they should have changed it, but I digress.
I don't know. I'm mixed. I do think that it is a very potential big trigger for people and that there should be warnings for that. But I think if the whole story is dark and it works within the story, then I wouldn't want them to take that away, So
that's, I think, the problem I have. The beginning scene specifically is the only one, and I'm not going to say what it is. The beginning scene is the only one where you kind of see where it relates. But after that, it just becomes second nature. At that point.
No, never mind. I thought if this was like a really big tie-in or like a really big reference to the theme of the story and it was really important to then
it's
But
more
if
of a it's more of a visual representation, and I can respect it from that standpoint.
Okay.
So overall, yes, it gets very dark. It is all about life and death, and almost all your social links really tie into that aspect as well. So let's talk pros and cons now, because once again, I don't want to spoil anything major. There might be a name that comes out. There might be a social link I mention, but overall, I'm going to keep it a spoiler.
Something really important to ask first before we start.
Yeah.
So your sweatshirt that says emotionally exhausted, is that Winnie the Pooh?
It is after he came on the public domain.
It is after he became a what?
He got on the public domain.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it is Winnie the Pooh.
I was in canon for a while. Okay, thank you.
I love this. This is my favorite hoodie.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I really enjoyed that it's Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. we can move on. We can talk about pros and cons of Persona 3 Reload.
I'm gonna start with the cons only because it will make more sense.
Okay. Sure.
And I'm going to start with this. With every single con I mentioned, I do not blame Reload itself for these cons, and I understand why they did it. So Reload is, story-wise and social link-wise, they copied it almost one for one. A couple dialogue changes here and there, but the story's the same. The whole overall concepts are the same. And I'm fine with that, and I respect that.
Sure.
But big con number one, and this is the reason this will not be my favorite Persona game. The social links are rough. Some are rough. Okay, so Persona.
Do you mean like they're poorly written, or they're really hard to get through, or the stories are rough?
All of the above. But but the stories are rough goes into the actual good social links, which is weird. So for example, and this is the one I'm going, like I said, I might name drop. This is the one I'm going to name drop. If you care, go away. It's already rated as the worst social link in Persona, and it has been forever. There is a kid who calls himself the Gourmet King. His name is Suimitsu. It's a bad representation on Japan's portrayal of fat people, of course, which is not great in and of itself. Two, it's just, it's as you get to know this character, he just sucks. There's nothing fun about, even when you get to the final resolution, it's not a final resolution. It's not real. The social links, where the social links are good, they're really good. Like, they're excellent. But when they're bad, they are a slog. Because at least with Persona 5, and I'm mentioning Persona 5 specifically because I'm going to tell you my rankings of all three games later. Persona 5, if it's a bad social link, it's still a pretty okay social link. I didn't hate getting through it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Yusuke was bad.
Yeah, but Yusuke just is kind of a boring character.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him bad. I just call him boring.
Bad.
Okay.
I remember one like hangout with him when you're upping his social link. He'd take you to a church and like compare himself to Jesus or something.
Yes, and he does that weird suffering. He does that weird pose with his arms up. And
I was like, you know what? I'm not about whatever is going on over there.
Just let's not forget. Let's not forget that. Oh, it's gone. Oh, the memory's gone. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, no.
Is it about his food addiction?
Yeah, no. That's his whole personality, is that he does art, and because of that he's poor, and because of that he's hungry. That's his whole personality.
And he needs food, and he spends all. There was like a lot of memes going around for Yusuke where it was like, the budget where it's like, I have no money left, help me with my budget, and then it's like candles $6,000 for Yusuke where it's like, I spend normal months, food $20,000. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go back to Persona 3.
Okay, Persona 3. Well, I went off the tangent. Whatever. But at the same time, I can't damn them all too much because there are some really, really solid social links. I'm just going to say his name, Kamiki, is an excellent social link, and it really ties into the theme really, really well. Miyamoto, he's an okay social link. He's not the best, but he's also not the worst, and his story kind of ties in. The first... What?
I just looked up a photo of Kamiki.
Oh no, stop looking up photos. I need you to stop because you're gonna spoil yourself.
Why
Kamiki
is he making this face? Why is he making that face?
When you play the game, you'll understand, and you are gonna feel bad. I'm just gonna tell you, you're gonna feel bad.
We're like 15 minutes into this, and you haven't even mentioned the dog.
Oh, I'm going to. When we get to pros, we're in cons right now.
Oh, you're right. You're so right. The dog would never be
Hold on. So yeah, social links. One, there's more than any other Persona game. Two, a lot of them are really decent, but oh my god, when they're bad, they're just really bad. Third, I wouldn't call this a con, more of a mixed. And this is just because, this is how the original was. In Persona 4 and 5, you have multiple different dungeons you go to. In Persona 3, it is one giant dungeon that has border floors. It is a giant dungeon called Tartarus. It's over 250 floors. And every 2 blocks, it changes to something else, to a different look. But it's still Tartarus over and over.
I was kind of...
Hold on. We lost her.
You're like, dang, let's go. And then you get 20 minutes into the dungeon, you're like, I'm kind of sick of this. And then when you finish the dungeon, you're like, I'm free.
So luckily with Reload, you can one-shot a block. You can one-shot a block, no problem.
My thought would be that you would never get that feeling of like, oh, yes, I get to move on to something new and different and fresh because you're in the same dungeon the whole time. I
normally don't do this, but I'm going to pull from chat. It is Mementos, but going up. It is like Mementos. It's randomly generated.
I didn't like Mementos.
It's better than... I'll say this. It's better than Mementos. It is better than Mementos. But it's still not great. Once again, it's in the con section. I don't think it takes away from the gameplay. And I understand that this is probably the limitations of the PS2 at the time and them. But no, because Persona 4 had dungeons. Besides the point, they were trying something new. Randomly generated floors. They were still like trying to figure out what they were trying to be. Because even Persona 4 didn't stray away from procedurally generated floors, even though they had separate dungeons. But I respect what they were trying. And that's why I put it more in the mixed category, because I don't know the situation. And it's not the worst thing in the world. It's okay.
That's what you want to hear about your game, right? It's not the worst thing in the world.
It could be worse. It could be Pokemon Scarlet and
Violet. It could be worse. You could have made a worse video game. Good job.
I can't be mad at Reload because they're trying to keep it as faithful as possible. They're trying to keep it as faithful.
It's not a Reload problem.
This one is just a general annoyance, and this is across all Persona games. I don't need the background voices saying, oh, it's a treasure chest. Oh, there's an enemy every single time.
That is a general Persona issue of being like, oh, Joker. It has the energy of like Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh, we might find some ingredients around here. There's a hidden key somewhere.
30 seconds too, because there is enemies and treasures on every floor. It is so often. It is all the time, and it drives me nuts. And it didn't start hitting me until my second playthrough to get all the confidants done. Where I'm just like,
you're like, stop talking.
We're gonna move on to pros, so I don't take way too long. Pros, you already mentioned it. Koromaru the dog, best character.
He had to be, right? He had to. You don't have a dog as a companion, and he's not the best character. That does not apply for when you have a cat who talks to you and tells you when to go to bed. It's not the same experience.
You can take him on walks. You can spend your time to take him on walks, which can boost your social links if you run into them, which is wonderful.
You are convincing me I want to play this game. I mean, I was going to play it anyway, but like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, oh, maybe I should just go buy this.
Second thing, I lost it. Because this kind of ties into that. Important to note, with Persona 3, almost all your confidants are during the day except for 2. Only 2 are at night. Luckily, unlike Persona 5 and Persona 4, exploring Tartarus does not impede it because you explore Tartarus at night. You only take a night slot. You don't take a day slot. Nice. So that part is nice, and I wish they would reintroduce it. And having the 2 social links at night are fine. But let's say you finish the block for Tartarus. Let's say you don't have one of those 2 social links at that period of time. There's so much other things you can do, including what they finally introduced, which is, hey, these boy characters don't have don't have social links, let's give them these things called link episodes so you can get to know them a little bit better and you hang out with them. No, you don't get social links. It doesn't boost leveling up personas, but you get items for hanging out with them and learning more about them and all that. It's a cool little extra thing they added in because I think a lot of people were upset they couldn't learn about these people.
Wait, back up. You can't social link with the guys?
No, there's no social because of the original. I guess.
And also another con. Okay, so wait, I want to add 2 cons to this. 1, you can't social link with the boys. Even if you can't romance them, you just don't get a social link with them at all. That's crazy. 2, Reload did not bring the female protagonist option.
I forgot
over,
that.
Which I think is a really poor decision to make. Why, in the year 2024, am I not allowed to choose the gender of my self-insert protagonist?
That is my two complaints, actually, that I forgot to mention. Was no femme protagonist. 2, they did not bring the answer from Persona 3 FES over. But
okay.
The answer is rumored to be DLC. So I'm not going to go and watch those cutscenes until I know that for a fact. It's still rumored. It's still highly speculated.
It's pretty new, so it might be a while before, but yeah, they definitely could because the game just came out.
Yeah.
But fine. All right, back to pros.
Back to the good things. The social link characters are great. Now let's even go further than that because there's more you can do at night with these characters.
At night. Taking out the trash at night.
I think it starts in like June is when they all officially starts. They added a feature where, let's say, I'll talk about one of the first characters, Junpei, because you meet him right at the beginning. He's not a spoiler. Let's say you have nothing else going on. Emily, stop looking them up. Jesus Christ.
I just want to see an image of them. I just want to know who we're talking about. This man looks sketchy. This man looks like a villain.
I'm going to tell you right now, Junpei sucks at the beginning. He becomes wonderful towards the end. Bless you.
Thank you.
Anywho, so let's say Junpei is free for that night. You're not going to Tartarus. You're not going to spend time with social links, but he's standing in a specific spot. Either him specifically can be by a bookcase or by an area where you're like, hey, come plant with me. You can spend time with them and like, hey, Junpei, come plant with me. Hey, come read this book with me. If you do both of those events 3 times with them, they get an extra ability. Example, the first female you meet, Yukari, which you complimented her top when you saw me playing for a little bit. Her first special ability is cut all healing SP in half. So it costs less to cast healing magic because she's your healer.
She's a cool girl. I like this girl.
I romanced her.
That's a good pick. She looks like if Makoto was actually interesting.
I romanced her the first time. The second time I romanced Mitsuru. But anywho, that's also a beginning character, so I don't mind name dropping her. But yeah, there's that cool aspect. On top of that, in the original Persona 3, there was these things called link spells you can do. So let's say you had Jack-o'-lantern, the pumpkin, and Jack Frost in your party. They had these things called link spells where if you had them both in your party, they do a joint attack and do something special, like effective.
That's fun.
They got rid of that. However, they improved it. You don't have to have them in your party. If you just fuse them both, it becomes this thing called a theurgy. And if you load up all your theurgy bar, you can use that special attack. That's cool. And it's just an overpower. It's like the Showtime attacks of Persona 5 Royal. But I think these are better. I like these better. On top of that, they didn't have fuse attacks or joint attacks with the party members. Now all your party members also have their own individual theurgies as well.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, so it's very, very fun. The fights are wonderful, and this is probably the best thing, and I wish they would bring this back. Your navigator, you know how Futaba's your navigator in Persona 5, right? Yeah, your navigator, she has an SP bar, and when you come into an enemy and you don't know their weakness, after you do a full round of attacks and the enemy doesn't attack, you can look at their weaknesses and still not know it, and you can press the little touchpad on your controller and use her SP to say they're all their weaknesses and resistances, so you don't have to guess anymore.
Really nice. That is really nice.
It's so much better now.
That's a good feature.
Sometimes you'll get lucky, but another big pro. Persona 3 and Persona 4 had this issue where if the characters were not in your party, they would not level up as you were going. which is problematic. And it would incentivize you to not use these characters again because they're so low level.
You're like, what's the point? I don't think I think after his, I don't even know if I used him for his palace, but I nixed Yusuke instantly.
Yusuke, so Persona 5 fixed it. All the characters level up, no matter what.
I know. I nixed him instantly.
So did I. I never used him. In this game, they kept it the same, where unfortunately they don't level up. However, they introduced something called the Great Clock. If you use a Twilight Fragment, which we'll talk about in a second, I should have probably talked about it first. If you use a Twilight Fragment on a chest on a certain floor, there's a good chance to spawn the Great Clock. You go into the Great Clock, and you get to choose 2 characters who are lower level than you, and then either bring them up to your level or a max of 13. So if you're 10 levels over them, over Junpei, for example, you can bring him up 10 levels to your level. Or if you're 20 levels over him, at least up to 13. Levels.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Which I learned the 13 was the maximum I was doing New Game Plus, and they carried over my level 95.
It seems a little silly that they wouldn't just make it so they were the same level as you.
I think, once again, they were just trying to be as faithful as possible. Next, they added something called Twilight Fragments. There are these little things that incentivize you to explore Japan a little bit more. I think there's only like 15.
You don't need to incentivize me to explore Japan. Like, I'll just do it.
Oh, they mean like every area. There are these little blue things you see shining on the ground. You pick them up, and there are certain chests in Tartarus that you can use these to open. You also get them from Igor's companion, Elizabeth, every time you raise social links. So you put it in, and bing, there you go.
That's nice.
I forgot there's one more con. I got to go back to cons for a second. And it's a mixed it's a mixed con. There are too many companions, if that makes sense.
Not enough time?
Not even social link wise. There's just too many party members. There are 11. You have 11 people.
Too many. You're right. That's too many.
I think
Who are you people?
Persona 4 and Persona 5 have 8. They have 11 you can cycle through.
That's too many. I don't need you here. I don't want you here.
Well, one of them's Koromaru, so it's fine. Yeah, that's
the dog.
Yeah. Once again, not necessarily a con, but it's mixed. It's definitely mixed.
That's a lot.
Including the 11-year-old you can romance in Persona 3 Portable, but we're not talking about that.
I talked about it a lot when this game was coming out because I was like, I can't believe they did not bring the female protagonist over.
Someone's already modded it in. Someone took the PC port, and within a week they modded it in, and even all the menus, the stylized menus and everything, they modded her in, and now she's a character.
Good.
But I don't think
I gotta see.
I don't think the social links are there. What are you looking up?
I want to see what she looks like.
Oh, Fem Protag? I think they call her Fem P or P Fem.
She's so stinking cute.
I know.
Why, Ayana? She's so cute. What the heck? Look at her little braid in her hair. And you're telling me I have to play as this, like, Suichi knockoff? What the heck?
Male protagonist is fine. I have nothing against him. There are points where he becomes a kind of a dick, but understandably.
I want cute. Fine.
I'm gonna warn you now. Just like I did with Persona 5. Use a guide for all classroom answers. Use a social link guide. Because this is one thing they brought over from Persona 3, specifically for social links. And I actually kind of like this feature from a social sim aspect. Not for myself, but for people who like social sims. Let's say you're trying to level up a social rank, and you click the wrong answer. Let's say you click the wrong thing. There's a chance, because there are answers that are really nice to them or tailored to their personalities. Some will not tailor to their personalities. And if you select it, you get something called a reversal. You go back a social link.
Is it like when you play The Sims, when like you say something to another character and they either get like the pluses or the negatives above their head?
Yeah.
That's stressful.
It shows you the tarot and it turns it upside down. You have to go to the shrine the next day to fix it, to try to repair it.
I hate it. I hate everything about that.
Use a guide. There's not that many that go into reversal. And there's one social link. I mentioned the worst one, Suimitsu. I mentioned him. His level 8 to level 9 is a fake reversal. They make you think you got a reversal, but no matter what you pick, you're going to get that. And it's going to, don't stress about it. But yeah, I'll probably send you my spreadsheet that I use for social links just to help you out a little bit.
That sounds like a lot. So overall, what would you rate?
Overall. Oh, I think there was one more thing I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I can't remember. Hold on. What were we? We're talking about reversals. It's gone. Whatever. It's gone. Overall.
I'm so sorry.
And I'm going to tie this into all 3 Persona games. For Persona 3 specifically, I rate it an 8.97. 8.97 because
so upsettingly specific.
Persona 3 has the best story out of all 3. Overall story, best in the whole series. So here's why I'm going to bring up the other 2 games. Persona 3, best story overall. Persona 4, best social link and party members, but probably one of the weaker stories. Okay. Remember what I said about Persona 3 having weak social links, but great story. Persona 4 is the opposite. Persona 5 is a better overall rounded experience. It has not the best story, but a really great story. Not the best social links, but a really great social links.
I want you to explain to me in very direct and specific terms where the 0.03 was lost. Because I could be like, oh yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. Like it was almost perfect, but like I took away the 1 point because the social links.
I'm actually gonna go up.
Where's the no? I want to hear where the point.
No, I'm I'm going up to be more upset. Not to be more upsetting, but I'm actually gonna go up to a 9.16.
9.16, everyone. I have to look at this. Can you explain where the 0.16 and why 16 specifically?
They would have gotten the 9.2 had my characters leveled up with me and they gotten rid of that terrible social link.
I hate it.
That's fine.
I think your score can only go to the 10th place. It cannot go to the 100th or 1000th. You only get a 9 point something.
You fine. I'll say 9.2. We'll round up to 9.2. 9.2.
I can live with that
because the story is so once again the high social links are so good. They really captivate you. The scenery that changes as the story goes on, you'll notice little things in the scenery in the background that change that are they're just thematics. They're not game breaking, but they blend in so well, and you're starting to think, oh shit, things are getting tense. You start to notice those little things, and I think it blends so well. And of course, just like every Persona game, it's hella stylish. The menus are stylized.
Music's good.
I forgot to mention the rewind feature. So let's say you screwed up a social link, you can go and do a temporary autosave that isn't permanent. Once you close the game, it goes away. But you can do a temporary autosave and go back a section and try again, right? Like, those are the really, really cool ideas they added, and the story is just so beautiful. Persona 4, like I said, weaker story, great social links. Persona 5, better overall experience. So in the overarching ranking of the Persona games, to no one's surprise, Persona 4 is in third. I still love it. I still adore it. It doesn't have a bad story. It's just not a great story. And the social links are all a blast, and I don't hate a single one of them. They're all fun. I highly recommend Persona 4 specifically for social links.
Which one comes in first?
Which social link?
No, which Persona game? You said Persona 4 is number 3. Who's number 1?
I know, we got to talk about number 2 first. No. So Persona 4 came in 3. Persona 3 comes in number 2. Because the story is just phenomenal. And if they had better social links, it'd be number 1. But because it has literally the worst social link in all of Persona history, it's sitting at number 2. Persona 5 Royal barely edges it out, only because its social links are good. Its story is really, really good, and its gameplay mechanics are the best out of all the games. There's just no contest.
There it is.
But I will still argue tooth and nail. If we're talking story specifically, Persona 3 takes it by far. I love Persona 3. I'm so glad I finally got to experience it. That has been a long episode. My God. We talked about
we had a lot to cover.
I went 40 minutes into Persona 3 Reload. Highly recommend Persona 3 Reload, unless you have any issues with the disclaimers I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Okay, so that being said, I guess we're kind of forcing it to end right now, the podcast, but we're going to move on to After Party. If you're on YouTube and you want to watch the After Party, you got to come watch us on Twitch, man. Jesus.
Yeah, you do.
I know we said we were going to start streaming on this channel to get us to affiliate, but we haven't done that yet because we're both kind of lazy. We'll fix it.
I probably won't be able to start for a while. I'm pretty busy the next couple of weeks.
Same. We'll eventually get... Ooh, excuse me. We'll eventually get to it.
I just a news warning. I haven't even talked to Blake about this yet. We will not be having an episode 2 weeks from today. It will either be next Wednesday if possible, or it will be 3 Wednesdays. I will be in DC for a conference. I
say we go back on schedule and just do it next week.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, I have nothing going on next week, next Wednesday. So next Wednesday is next podcast. It will probably...
I might have something going on.
It might be 3 weeks from now. You might have to wait another 3 weeks.
Or we'll do it a Tuesday or something. We will come back to this.
This next episode, finally, if we commit ourselves to it, might finally be the PT episode. It might finally be the PT episode.
Oh, it could be because we're going to watch this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. I would love to talk about the PT episode. I have so many thoughts about PT, and I can't wait for Blake and Allison to watch these videos.
If you're tired of hearing me talk this whole episode, Emily will be taking over next week for majority of it. So don't you worry.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good, guys.
If you're on YouTube and you can't watch on Twitch, just make sure you come back every time you want to see us. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, do all the damn things. Follow us on Twitch just to help us boost there. Anything and all those things, do the things. If you have friends, tell your friends. Jeez, you have friends.
Tell your grandma.
Dude, tell your great grandma. You look frozen. You're not, though.
I'm not. I was just thinking. I was just pensive.
And before we go to After Party, last thing I will say, Koromaru supremacy. Okay, bye everyone. Goodbye. Praise Koromaru. Bye.